Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Gemini. If Gemini is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Alright, let's see what these tea leaves have to say tonight. Okay, so our card tonight is the Princess of Cups. And as I say that, I see we have a figure here holding up a cup. It's kind of funny how that happens sometimes. Things just really align in such a way that feels very meaningful. Okay. Okay, so I want to take a look at, obviously, the cup here. This person holding a cup. And I think in the very similar posture, if you can see, we have the Princess of Cups holding the kind of cups made out of shells, or a shell it looks like, and it has the turtle in it. And then you look at this, very similar. This is kind of a really votive, devoted, honoring, lifting up in worship, possibly an offering. And you know, I want to mention the Princess of Cups. She is an archetype that is kind of the beginning of growth. She is a most fertile place, a place of, you know, if you can think of maybe where the water is flowing from, the waters of life. She is blessed with some of the imagery of abundance, the lotus flower, kind of a creation story, present in various cosmologies, and of course the turtle, another another symbol of the beginning. And we also have these beautiful colors, very earthy, well, watery I should say, and the purple, this violet hue, something so sacred, so much related to the interior walls of a temple, something, a place that you would go to kind of unify with the everything. And so this is a place where there is kind of that unsullied hope, desire, motivation to make something from everything. And so let's look at that. I think that, you know, I can see that you are very much in a place of devotion for self. This is in the middle in this physical plane, kind of calling back some of the previous readings. I know that, you know, in the past you've sometimes been a people pleaser, okay? I don't see this as that, right? This devotional posture. I see this as, and we look over here, we have a flower growing, and we have a bird with its wings up. We also have a bird over here. And this one looks like maybe a hawk, and this one maybe is a hawk as well. And you can see it's kind of, it's here, it's got its wings up again. Interestingly enough, and I'm going to show this as well, we have, and I think this is a goose, but a bird with their wings spread. Okay, so this cup seems to really relate itself to this card. And so I see a great flowering, okay? This flower is in its peak. You can see it's wide open, and it kind of has its pistil, you know, jutting out. And we have these birds, which, especially the hawk, sign of clarity, of great mental power, strength, you know, an inspired mind, intelligent mind. And so I see that you've had to really focus on letting go of some of the conditioning that kind of caused you to be this people pleaser in the past. You know, and this is something that is very much spoken into us. Continually kind of formed into our very being from a young age, that we must abide, you know, we must conform to the systems, you know, we have to listen, we must do as our parents say, we must, you know, be able to function within a school setting, within a social setting, within our families. And, you know, of course, these are things that people pass down. We pass them on to each other, both directly and passively. And I think for the most part, this is not a nefarious thing. We're tribal people. We're meant to be alongside one another. We must find ways to live in harmony. Okay? But, you know, the way that it may affect one person maybe affects another differently. Especially, and I find this a lot, you know, in women or people who are really kind of in a more passive posture within their family, within their social groups, to kind of become this people pleaser, to find their place within, you know, within the group, by being attentive, available, agreeable, you know, a problem solver, a caretaker, and so on. Which, you know, none of these things are negative necessarily, unless they limit how you want to live. They limit your will, okay? Which can happen, and that's what this conditioning is about. Sometimes it goes a little further than it should. Sometimes it deranges our self-identity more than it should, right? Things become quite warped. We create coping mechanisms, anxieties, you know, phobias, all kinds of things can occur when we are kind of forced into a mold that we do not belong. So we spend a lot of time, right, trying to undo some of the stuff. And it can be quite painful. But I think that you have been devoted to this path. You've been devoted to finding your truth, living your will. You know, being a good community member, whatever that means or looks like. But also being good to yourself, right? Whatever that means and whatever that looks like. And I feel that you've come into a place in your life where you are beginning to truly flourish. Okay, and I see we have, well, hello, TT. We have this beautiful figure here, and it looks like they have a cape or a dress, maybe a robe. They are in movement, maybe dancing in this emotional space full of life. Finding things to enjoy. No shame, no guilt. Doing what you love. You don't have to ask anybody for permission. There's nobody to ask for permission but yourself. There's a lot of movement here. Things feel unstuck. You know, I feel like we get to these places and we find more and more blockages. As we do the work, we get deeper and we find blockages, and we get, you know, fix that or remove that or dispel it, whatever. We go and we get further, we find more. We find more. And so I'm not going to imply that this is the end of the work. By no means is it. But I do feel like you are in a period of beauty, grace, inspiration. I see a figure here kind of reaching out, and I see kind of, oops, I did touch that a little. Maybe the wind blowing, you know, and that feels about right, because we have what looks like maybe a tree here and it's blowing. We have an eye next to the tree. Up here it looks like we have a sloth climbing a tree. Okay, so I feel like as I'm looking at this, there's movement. There is a very airy energy. It is active, quite active. And I feel as, you know, as you come into this place where you are kind of doing your thing, you are feeling yourself, you're feeling beloved, moving like water, really unlimited and flexible. There are people who are drawn to you. You know, I think when we begin to change, people have this fear. They don't want us to be something that they can't recognize. They have an idea of us. They, you know, good, bad, whatever. You know, and we all do this to some degree, right? We can express our hope for their life to change, for their circumstances to change. But when it comes to who they are as a person, it's hard to kind of really truly experience an evolution of somebody that you already have kind of a fixed idea about. And so if you are so blessed as to witness that in somebody else, or somebody else to witness that in you, you know, there could be a feeling of resistance, being skeptical, kind of a naysayer. And I think that's natural. You know, because I'm in recovery, I kind of, you know, you see a lot of people come in and go out. And what does that mean? That coming in and going out means when you get sober, you come into the meetings. When you go out, that's when you relapse, basically. And, you know, most people, they don't make it, and, you know, that's unfortunate. It's heartbreaking, but it's the reality of it. Some people, though, are miracles, and they change their lives. You know, they start out rough, and they do the baby steps, little by little. They, you know, cling to the idea of a new beginning, and they slowly, incrementally change little things. And then it's bigger things. And then, you know, maybe, TT, please don't. Go on. I love you, but you can't do that to my light, Missy. But then they, you know, bigger things change. And next thing you know, you think back and it's like, was that the same person? You know, this being that I am so lucky to know has kind of evolved into a whole other thing. Even maybe different than how they were previous to their addiction. I mean, a lot of people begin young, right? And so, you know, you do a lot of growing up in a short amount of time. And so it's interesting, but we all have this feeling of, and I think this is just, you know, it's natural to kind of feel, that's the cat's, she does step on every little thing here. TT, come on, girl. Help me out. All right. So, we really like things to be as we can recognize them. So, I feel that you've been the one changing and moving and becoming, right? And as this happens, there are people in your life who really, they can be very drawn to this, enchanted by it even. You know, nothing is as wonderful as seeing somebody become themselves, to have a sense of, you know, like a success story in some way. And people they gravitate towards that. And so, you know, I really do believe that you have people who are just so enamored by you. And don't you dare get away from my coffee, miss. Oh, this cat. I love this cat so much. She's just such a naughty girl. She will look you right in the eye when she's about to knock something over. So, I do think that there's a lot of love there. And I think that this really, in some ways, strengthens your resolve. This is not the only reason. I mean, this is like a little bit of sprinkles on top. Now with the sloth up here, I think this is a great sign. You know, we think of the slow animals, the snail, the turtle, the crab or whatever, as like, okay, hurry up. Like, I don't want to see that symbol necessarily. I want things to go quickly. Well, when we have the animals that are a little slower, they're a little more intentional, there's a sense of lasting change. This is deep change. This is, you know, forging a new future. Building a beautifully, you know, placed foundation. It is sturdy. That thing's not going to sink. It's not going to crack. It's not, you know, none of those things. So taking it slow is so important. And I think that, you know, in some ways it feels fast. Some ways it feels like it's going nice and steadily. Okay. Now, I do want to look at this one. We have a big 5. What is that? And I wonder, what is it? And where did that come from? Oh, that must have fallen. It's like, what is this now? Okay, so it actually is funny because now it looks like this cup is pouring water onto the flower. So we've had a little bit of a change in the formation. And so we have a 5, okay? A big 5, I don't know. Something 5, if you know what it is related to, leave a comment, let me know. I'm interested. Okay, and so we also have, I'm looking at the side here. I feel like we have, you know, this kind of movement. It looks like, reminds me of the geese are going to be going south soon. Once I hear those geese, I know the summer is getting close to over. I haven't heard them yet. A few weeks ago, I thought I saw maybe 2 groups of them, and I was like, okay, but they were actually headed west, not south. And now it's hot again. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But I do think that, you know, this is another sign of transformation, another sign of, you know, having that instinct to continue on. Just kind of knowing what you need for yourself. And that is not a bad thing at all. Okay. All right. And so I want to look at this one. We have maybe the same person, it looks like, still wearing a cape or a dress, and it looks like they're kind of pointing down here. And so I'm looking at this, and this was the tree upside down, but I do see, well, it almost looks like a putter to me, like a golf putter. And this one kind of looks like a wave. So I'm trying to figure out, what does that mean, really? I don't know. I know some about golf. I don't know that much about golf. But maybe, I guess, a putter you would use on the green when you're close to the hole. So I'm guessing that, you know, you're getting close to your destination. You're getting close to kind of sinking that hole in there, or that ball into the hole. And so, not really a metaphor I'm super comfortable with, but I think really just being aware and intentional, precise with some of your decision making, okay? Okay. Yeah, let's move over here. Okay, so we have an eye. Right here we have an eye. And then we have a bird up here. And so I feel this one looks not unlike a cardinal. So here we have kind of that, again, somebody past who loves you coming to visit. They have an eye on you, and I think just watching over you. I kind of almost wonder, almost wonder if you've had a near accident recently. Maybe with your car, or I don't know, maybe you were walking and there was a car, but there seems to be some kind of something, but I don't think there was really a big accident or any accident. Maybe it was just something that frightened you. And just a reminder that you are, you know, you're blessed, but you have to keep your wits about you. You know, keep your mind on what you're doing. Don't text and drive, please. Please don't. That's, you know. But other than that, I think that everything's okay in that zone. Hopefully, nobody has been in any kind of accident of any kind of substantial damage lately. But I'm interested to know who that is that's visiting you, because they seem like they're almost kind of a little annoyed, which makes me think that maybe you were doing something you shouldn't have been, or just not paying attention. So if you know, let me know. I love to hear in the comments, oh my gosh, this is my grandma. Oh my gosh, this is my mom, or my grandpa, or whoever. Okay, so we have the Indigo Sage affirmation cards. These are the air. And we're just going to go ahead, see where we're at with this. Okay, these are really pretty. I like the colors on this particular deck. Okay, it says entrance, love trance. Maybe that's what happened to you. Were you in a love trance while you were operating heavy machinery? Meditate in appreciation with flowers. Each is a portal to divine love. Yeah. Okay, I'm about this one. So get out there, go look at the flowers. If there aren't very many around, go to the store, go look at some flowers. Go to the florist, look at some flowers. Go to, you know, somewhere where there are flowers, go look at them. Go look at it. Go say hello. Go say hello. Ask them to bring you inspiration. Maybe they will visit your dreams. They like to do that. They do. Okay. And I just want to mention, I feel like this week, this cycle, whenever you watch this video, it is activated. It does not have any, you know, time that it has to be, you know, kind of anchored to. But I do think whenever you watch this, this is a time for you to bless yourself. Do not wait to be blessed by anything else. You are doing the blessing this cycle. You are in that place. You are in that power. Take heed. All right. I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. It's always such a pleasure to be able to bring these messages to you. So, if you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps us get into the algorithm, and the algorithm kind of decides everything about what happens to the readings, how far out they go, you know, and all of that. So the algorithm likes engagement, we give it engagement. So things like liking the video, watching the readings from the beginning to the end, sharing on other social media platforms. If you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. Of course, you don't have to do any of these things, but I like to ask because I feel like if you are here at the end listening to this, you maybe are interested in supporting the channel in some way. And what else? Oh, leave a comment. I read them all. I'm also on a social media detox break. I do one every year, and probably sometimes multiple times a year. So most of my engagement with anybody is going to be through these comment sections. So please leave me some comments. I need some people to talk to. All right, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you, and we will speak in just a few days.